This time on Roadkill, we went on our Facebook page and we told some people, you know what, meet us right here at this parking lot because we're gonna buy a car and road trip it from Indy all the way to Tulsa. And these guys showed up. We're here nearby Indy, about 4 miles from the drag strip where the NHRA US Nationals are going on, and we got to buy a car. So we invited a bunch of fans to come out here and meet us in this parking lot and bring their cars out. I've got a pocket full of cash, and we're going to go home with one of these junkers over here.
We can get into a lot of trouble with $5,000.
Why are we buying a car?
Should be at the strip club. Let's go, because I see cool stuff. If you can get people to ditch work, ditch school, and show up to a Walmart parking lot on Monday just to sell you a car they really don't want to sell, you're probably doing something right with your little online show.
About 12 guys showed up with cars for sale, which is super cool. And even cooler, there was a big crowd of people who just came out to see what was going to happen and brought their own rides with them.
A few of the cars we passed on were a diesel-powered Mercedes, an all-wheel drive Honda with a 6-speed, an old Monza, a rotary-powered RX-7, a third-gen Camaro, a Fox body Mustang that even had a spare roll cage in the back. There was some good iron here, but none of that stuff was cool enough to go on this road trip.
Ultimately, we narrowed it down to 4 cars. There was a 67 Ford Country Sedan, which is pretty much a Galaxy station wagon. It had a 390 under the hood, an automatic, no power steering, no power brakes. This thing was on. This is way too good for us.
Yeah, a door could fall off any minute.
Let me guess, you have to pull up on the column shifter to get it to start?
Oh, yeah, how'd you know?
It's a 67 Ford. I don't know, that's gonna be hard to contend with. Man, oh dude, this is mint.
I'm falling in love, we need to move away.
I know, we need to move away because this is too big. We could be done right now. Wow. There was sudden death, the off-road built Ford LTD that was just nutso.
That's the quietest, like, front muffler mounted car I've ever heard in my life.
We'll cut them off. I don't know, this is pretty roadkill. Dude, what are you trying to sell me here? Did you see the rust?
No, all I see is awesome exhaust. I don't see anything else. Okay, all right.
That's pretty good.
We'll be
back. What else we got?
Yeah, we'll be back.
Then there was the limo. Not a full-on stretch limo, but a Cadillac production limo with a 472 in it. Not bad, little rust.
Little rust.
Did you see the dash in this thing? It's like new. Interior is actually pretty good.
When we buys this, you're driving the entire time and I'm riding in the back.
Oh, truly like new. Does it do burnouts?
You gotta lean on it.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right, we need to keep shopping because there's a 3-way tie happening.
Yep, 3-way.
Stay tuned.
Awesome.
Tell us your story.
This is a one-owner car, low miles.
Then there was the S10, and we were taking that thing pretty seriously because, well, look at it. And it had a V8 under the hood, and it was loud, and ultimately it does good burnout. How much is this one?
I'd love to get 35, but it goes 15.
You drive a hard bargain.
Oh, that was the best thing I've heard all day. So this versus Hookers and Blow, Certain Death, and the Wagon. I'm more into the Wagon than I am the S15.
Well, the S15 has more character, like from, you know, a complete piece of junk point of view. It has sawzalling the roof off of it. It has putting nitrous on it. We can run that into stuff.
I didn't even think about how crappy it was, and it didn't matter what we did to it.
Right. With that one, you know the whole time you listen to me whining about, oh, we can't drill a hole in this, we can't run this into a tree. That one is just going to be a cruiser. Let's talk about Certain Death for a second. Most of what we would like to do is already done. We can't really take the credit for it. But see, we could add our own little something to it. We can go get some house paint.
It's got such a good look, though. I mean,
all right, so then how about Hookers and Blow?
I love it. Not the Hookers and Blow. I mean, I love the car. Car's good.
Yeah.
The lazy man in me says, I want to ride all the way to Tulsa in the backseat of that while you drive.
I'm really torn. Personally, I would say I most want to own the Wagon. I most probably want to drive Certain Death.
This is hard.
Man, we're indecisive.
Like, none of these will suck. This will all be amazing.
We could find somebody to pick for us.
I like that plan.
How about him?
All right.
Which one would you pick? Oh, wait. You're influencing.
Cadillac or the Wagon?
Okay, Cadillac or Wagon? Which way would you go?
Yeah,
Wagon?
All right.
Okay.
Solid.
Wagon or pickup truck?
Wagon or pickup truck? Which one?
Still the wagon.
Wagon. Okay.
All right.
Wagon or LTD?
Still the wagon.
Okay, we're getting the
We're
wagon.
going wagon. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, little man. Thank you for helping us.
Be on the episode.
Good looking out. We bought ourselves a station wagon, and I'm now tempted to drive it all the way back to California for the birth of my child.
We use it a few times a year. Me and my buddies will go to the races, and we'll go to car shows and stuff. Pile all in, and whatever they do, I'm going to follow it, and I can't wait.
Well, we just bought this thing. We've never seen it run, so we figured we might as well give it a brief once over before we hit the road. Ooh.
Wow. I don't care. I got cookies. Let's go.
You broke it already. You threw coolant everywhere.
Hey, where'd that LCD go?
Okay, so now all of you, the next time you're watching this show and you go, I wonder if they faked that. It's blowing out of this completely loose hose clamp right here. We'll even let you fix that.
All right. All right, let's try it again. Does it have reverse?
Yes.
It has reverse.
Bye. Oh yeah.
This is pretty awesome.
Okay. You want the tire to pop?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's good. Right through the back window.
It's like Cheech and Chong now.
It wasn't us, officer. What are you talking about? So now we've got the wagon, we've done a good burnout, but the big question is, what are we doing in Indy? We're gonna drive 1 mile down the road and go to the NHRA US Nationals.
All right, let's merge.
Wow. Oh, carbon monoxide death.
We need to get that back window up.
We're gonna be putting the back window up or Lexaning it or something. There's as much smoke in here as when we did the burnout. This thing cruises though.
All my dreams are coming true. Got a station wagon, going to the US Nationals. Not bad.
And we have chocolate chip cookies.
I've never been to the Big Go. I've never been to Indy during an NHRA national event, so this was huge for me. All these crew chiefs and drivers and owners that I have watched on television since I was a kid were now feet away from me on the starting line.
Look at the whole John Force, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh my God, that's awesome. This might be the best day at work ever.
Yeah. If you watched episode 27 of Roadkill, then you know that we met Don Schumacher, and that was way back in like April of 2014.
Well, we're hoping to go see Don Schumacher, who we met in the Corvette episode, and we're hoping he actually lets us in his pits because we flaked on him at least 3 times when we promised him we were going to show up. You know you're big time when you get a police escort through the pits.
It's a large sea of people. I only know one of them.
Good to see you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
How are you?
Welcome to my office away from home.
I was going to say, you probably live here more than home.
Come on, I'll show you around a little bit. Each area has its own set of tools, massive amount of parts and pieces. And wow. There's another motor back there.
Yeah,
Just got motors under the cabin.
sitting around.
Well, he's probably got 8 to 10 short blocks here. We have another chassis upstairs with body on it with a short block in it ready to go.
And the same for every team, right?
Yeah. You know, if you guys went down the road with this, you could fix whatever you broke.
Yeah, we wouldn't have a show.
Not only did Don let us hang out in his pit and feed us, but we got to hang out with a few of his drivers, including Spencer Massey, who races Top Fuel Dragster, and Matt Hagen, who races Funny Car. Both of these guys drive cars with 10,000 horsepower under the hoods, and that are capable of traveling across a racing surface that's 1,000 feet long at over 320 miles an hour.
Dude, look, it's Don Schumacher, and he just gave me a pass, and now we're going to the starting line at the U.S. freaking Nationals.
It was just a thrill to be able to hang out with Don Schumacher. It was just a good time. It's about 3:45 here in Indy, and all of Don Schumacher's teams have lost, which is a drag for him, but it's good for us because we're gonna go get a tour of his shop right down the road here in Indy. But first, Finnegan's gonna fix the glass in the back of the wagon because the carbon monoxide in this thing is killing us. It's worse than that Cuda that we drove in Texas. Absolutely brutal. So we gotta roll the glass up. So let's just tape this now.
Tape it.
Yeah.
Declare this car roadworthy. It's not as bad. I smell it, but it's not as bad. How much do you think we've shortened our lives by doing roadkill just from the amount of carbon monoxide we've inhaled?
But how much have we extended our own glory?
Well,
Look at it.
dead legends.
Yeah.
That's cool. Except for the parts we've got to lay under this car, this is going to be comfortable.
Man, this is lap of luxury.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. I guess it's right
Crap.
there. Hard to miss.
If you died and went to heaven, Don's shop would look a lot like what your garage would look like. Floors you could eat off of because they were that clean. CNC machine equipment, chunks of billet everywhere that you could turn into engine blocks or cylinder heads. And oh yeah, the building is so big that you could pull the semi-tractor trailers of all 6 of his racing teams inside the building, roll out all the cars, set up the pits, and maintain them right there.
The thing I liked most was the blower dyno. This thing was so complicated, I could not tell exactly what they were doing here, and so we had one of the crew chiefs come in and explain it. Basically, they use this electric motor to get the thing spinning up at speed, and then bam, they've got a clutch in it that engages this engine and instantly takes that blower from idle speed up to 8,000 RPM. Mind-blowing stuff here.
Hell of a tour.
That was great.
Not a bad day.
Do you think about what other people must think of our jobs? It's pretty ludicrous. Keep forgetting about all the stuff in the back.
Did you see what the car just did?
Yeah. The fun of buying this car and the excitement of the US Nationals immediately tapered down into about the most quiet road trip we've ever had. We took these tiny roads heading out of Indianapolis, making our way to Tulsa for the start of Hot Rod Drag Week.
We took back roads. That way, we'd get to see America. We'd see pawn shops and small auto parts stores and junkyards and all those things that we don't normally get to hang out at during a typical roadkill when we're thrashing.
It gave me and Finnegan a chance to talk about something more than our imminent demise, which is the norm for roadkill. I'm getting kind of attached to the wagon.
Yeah.
I feel spoiled.
I don't want to get rid of the wagon. I like it. I'd like to make it spunkier, though.
How would you propose doing that?
We don't just get nitrous bottles. We get mother bottles, 2 of them. Strap them to the roof,
Yeah.
wire them together, and we have a 50 shot that lasts for 8 or 9 miles. That's never been done before, I don't think.
Actually, what would make you go faster at that point is to put the mother bottles on the roof with the nozzle pointing backwards and just sledgehammer off, the valve.
The car, not to be judgmental, has a little bit of rust, a little bit of oxide in it,
Yeah,
and it would just rip the roof off the car.
it could happen. Yeah.
Instead of making the car go faster.
Ratchet strap all the way around the car.
Oh my God, I don't know.
The trip ended up being so cash, we had time to bench race. We stopped to see a buddy and finally crashed for the night in New Baden, Illinois, right across from St. Louis. Can't believe I'm saying this, but fire up the wipers.
Oh yeah, look at that. See you later, lot lizards. We're out.
When you think St. Louis, you think Bigfoot. There's no Bigfoot out front.
No, but there's a tank with a Ford Aerostar body on it. And I've watched that run over cars before.
Gotta tell you, kind of a letdown.
Going? Yeah.
Bob Chandler, you failed me. You want to stop and let these people know they're only going to be let down? Look, you can see the look on her face. She's going, that's not Bigfoot.
That's not Bigfoot.
That's the Ford Aerostar on a tank chassis. We stopped at a junkyard, which ended badly when we got threatened by an old man with a steel pipe. The guy threatened us with a steel pipe. Yeah, but do you want to deal with that? The guy's obviously going to continue coming after us. That's crazy. We bailed out of there and headed to Oak Grove, Missouri, where we were going to visit with some of our drag week racers.
How you been? I've been good, man.
Hey, David, how are you? I didn't expect to see you.
And we're at Todd Mashmeyer's shop. That's Todd there in the black shirt and Travis Gilpin in the gray.
These guys are totally roadkill people. Because anybody that has the engine out of their car and the cylinder heads off of it 2 days before they're supposed to be drag racing, well, they'll hang out with us, no problem, even if we didn't bring beer. Look at this over here. That's an intake manifold, and it didn't fit the cylinder heads, and he could have very easily put spacers underneath it to make it fit the cylinder heads. He didn't do that. He cut it in half, welded it back together, and he's still got to machine it to fit, but he's doing all of this with, I don't know, 2 or 3 days left, so he definitely lives the roadkill life.
Leaving Todd's place, we knew we still needed to show you some destruction on Roadkill. And so here we present gratuitous shots of a guy destroying a house. This is basically an analogy of my career.
Yeah! By now you're wondering what's all the racket coming from the front of the car. This is Indy. That's Jamie Hannon, the guy from the Corvette episode that sold us that piece of crap. And he thought it'd be funny when we weren't looking by popping off the left front hubcap and throwing about 75 cents in it. And we just decided to leave it in there to see what happens to 75 cents after about 1,000 miles.
Well, and to prove him that we don't care.
Nah.
Yeah.
Aha! So after a nice leisurely 5-day drive with Freiberger in the wagon, getting to drag week was a welcome change because suddenly there was fury, there was noise, there was smoke, there was horsepower, everything that our trip was lacking once we left Indy. What better place than a drag strip to go tailgating? This car came with a barbecue. It would be a crime not to use it.
And look what I got. Ready?
Oh, fire. That's not good. No lighter fluid needed, says the bag. You don't barbecue, do you?
Why isn't it going whoosh? That's like California lighter fluid.
And if you're gonna tailgate, you might as well tailgate at the finish line because that's where all the action is.
This is Hot Rod Drag Week, where we afflict roadkill punishment on a whole bunch of other people, most of whom have more skills than us. This is where we take drag racing street legal cars and make them race 5 times at 4 drag strips in 5 days. We add up their elapsed times, and the one with the quickest overall wins, but the battle is really on the road. We make these cars drive 1,000+ miles from track to track along the way.
Once drag week began, Freiberger and I split up. He had one job to do, I had another, and my job was to hang out in the pits and check up on all the racers and find out their stories. It was to interview the guys who were trying to achieve personal ET goals, guys who were just trying to get to the next track, guys who were trying to keep their cars running, people who were trying to go fast in street cars. This dude came all the way from Australia, blew up the engine before drag week even started, and he's fixing it just so he can make passes even though he can't win this thing. Very roadkill. Drag week rules because it's roadkill on steroids. It's you versus the road, you versus your car. You need to summon all of the MacGyver you have in you to beat whatever the road throws at you. It's not just about going fast, it's about getting to the finish line no matter what happens. And the guys that make it to the end are the baddest hot rodders on the planet.
While Drag Week is one of my favorite events of the year, it is also work. I've got to tech all these cars for class, I got to shoot photos, direct the web and video coverage, and I announce in the booth all week long. This thing is just awesome though. I love Drag Week, and this is the biggest ever with 310 cars. And the drama delivered. First of all, remember Mashmeyer, the guy with the short block, not quite done 4 days before the event? Well, they got their engine in the car, they got it completely wired, they showed up at Drag Week and unfortunately failed on the very first day, and they were out. But there was other Roadkill guys who had big wins. Specifically, Jeff and Jeffrey Lutz in this pair of black 57 Chevys. These guys were in the episode where we put the leaf blowers on the Monza and we used their shop, which is a complete juxtaposition of these killer cars. And Lutz won overall with his 6-second 57 Chevy that became Hot Rod's fastest street car in America.
Is that Jeff Lutz has won the Unlimited category, has won the overall championship at Drag Week in 2014, and it was a seesaw battle.
The other big deal at Drag Week was Larry Larson. He's won this thing 5 times in a row and built this new S10, which is just crazy. Unfortunately, he failed at Drag Week by breaking apart and not being able to secure the win. But the next day, he came out onto the track during the Hot Rod Heads-Up Shootout and laid down the single quickest pass of all time for a street-legal vehicle, 6:16 at 219 miles an hour. In the end, we might not have broken down at the side of the road, we might not have done an engine swap in the middle of nowhere, but this was an awesome roadkill. We got a chance to hang at the U.S. Nationals with one of the biggest names in the entire NHRA, being Don Schumacher. We met with drivers, we had a great drive through Awesome Americana, and we ended at one of the most bitchin' events of all time, Hot Rod Drag Week. And in its 10th year, Drag Week delivered with some of the best drama ever. We ended up leaving our wagon behind at the track, and ultimately one of the guys here at the company bought the thing, and we flew home ready to roadkill another day. What's wrong with our world where, we keep all the clapped out, blown up 50 GMC, Datsun 240Z, crap that doesn't run, our perfectly good, virtually new, one owner, barn find wagon? Out of here.
Masochist.